welcome. This is Katy Mendoza, expanding consciousness in a fun and adventurous way. In this video, I will share with you guys a theory named soul contract that comes from the GAIA Hypothesis created by James Lovelock. But before I start, I want you to think. Have you ever been in the situation when you meet a person for 1 second and you guys maybe exchange 1, 2, 3 words, and maybe you never see that person again, but what that person said to you at that moment stick with you so deeply that it made you change something about a way of thinking, or maybe it turned something on in you to start something new. But you keep that person that you saw for one time and maybe never again, but it has such a strong impact in your life. Maybe change something in your life because of what that person said or that interaction. Or have you ever experienced, how people come for a little bit to your life? They teach you all these different perspectives of life or all these different things by just being themselves, right? And maybe then after they go after a month or whatever it is, they just come to your life to kind of show you something, and then they just leave. But that thing that they show you for that moment completely changed the way that you saw life. And then you have people that they stay a little bit longer in your life, right? And they bother you, or anything that they say triggers you, or it's just why are you this way, or etc. But they continue to be in your life, or they keep appearing in your life, and it's you're why is this person continuing to be in my life, or why can I let go of this person, or etc, etc. And then you have, of course, the people, your family, people that you grew up with, people that you can not really be just okay, ciao, but people that probably hurt you. Sometimes our families are the ones that cause a lot of all the trauma or whatever from the beginning of our life. We're all learning in here. So just think about all these different interactions that you have with people that are in your family, your friends that have been there for a while, people that you just meet at one time in a store when you're buying something, people that keep coming to your life here and there. So what is this, or how is this connected to this theory of soul contract? And when you hear the word contract, right, I want you to think about it's an agreement, when you make an agreement with somebody, right? And basically all of these ideas and all these theories is connected to the idea of reincarnation. So I want you to really be open-minded to this whole idea of reincarnation. So your soul, before your soul comes here, it comes to live the human life, right? You come to have this human life experience, and you die, whatever your whole life was, you die. And then the idea is that when you die, you come back in another body, right? I mean, of course, you come back into, you're born again into a baby, and you have this whole new life, right? And it goes and goes like that. So sometimes if you have heard people call other people, oh, you are an old soul, or you are a young soul, right? Some people are young, but they have all this kind of knowledge, or when they learn things very fast, and they use that to help other people, or etc. And then you meet the people that are maybe an older in age, but they are just a little bit more of sensitive to life, or they are just having a little bit more troubles going through life and the life experience and this human experience. So you just kind of have all these ideas here for what I'm about to talk about now. So yeah, you reincarnate. Okay, your soul reincarnates. Cool. That's awesome, right? You get another chance. But why do we reincarnate, right? Why do we choose that? And it's every time, every reincarnation, every human experience that you have is, you are not going to remember your whole, what happened in your past life, but your soul knows. So it's we come, and we know that we're gonna come here and have a human experience, but we also know that it's I'm gonna go to planet Earth, but I'm choosing not to remember anything that I have lived in other lives. just because I won't do it. And then I'm just gonna go through life and just try to make it right this time, or try to like use what I learned from my other past life into this life. So now, soul contract. Think about you as a soul, as an energy, right? Before you come into the physical body. This theory says that we choose our families. We choose all these interactions, people we're gonna date, people that are gonna hurt us, our friends, the people that we're gonna see at one time in a store, all these things. Like, hey, so you're gonna be my mother, and I'm gonna be your daughter. I'm gonna be like the best friend that you meet when you're in California, and then I'm going to be like your sister that is not connected with the same dad or mom, but we have one dad connected to that, and so on. So you think like that. So you're there before you come into here, all these souls get connected and be like, okay, all right, so you're gonna be my mom, and you're gonna be a bad mom to me. You know, you're not gonna show me attention. You're not gonna show me love. You're not gonna show me like the love of a mother. Why? Like, what? Because your soul, before it came to this planet Earth and this human experience, wanted to experience what it was not to have love, not to have that attention, not to have that motherly love. Why? Because that your soul in that moment wanted to experience and learn what true love was. So how can your soul do that? The way to really learn what really like love is not to have it, right? When you don't have it and you go through all this pain, and that pain pushes you closer and pushes you to really try to find it inside of you on somehow. But before that happens, you have to go through all this pain and all these different difficulties, things, right? All these struggles that we go through. And it's like, why? Like, why would I choose that? All of this is chosen because we want to expand our consciousness, because we want to evolve, we want to change, we want to grow. So your soul grows through those difficulties. When something is hard, just, you know, human life too, if you really think about it, the times that you have learned the most out of something, any situation, is when it's hard, when you have to continue trying, when you have to continue trying. And after that pushes you to be like, okay, like I have tried so many times the same thing and I gotta change it, right? And that takes you to like actually doing what you wanted to learn. The purpose of this soul contract is for us to advance in our spiritual growth, in our spiritual journey. And a lot of times these soul contracts are based in like tough love. Really think about all the people right now in your life at this moment that are just causing you pain, or that are like just really like triggering something in you, anger or whatever it is, right? You're experiencing all these emotions because of this other person that has this like kind of like power over you, or this just like presence, right? So just think about it. And something that has really like helped me in how I really use all these theories, like to understand, not to understand, maybe to just like really like have a peace of mind of how, okay, when someone is like being tough of me or like rude or me, it's like there's something to learn. There's something to learn. Or if this person keeps coming in my life and this trigger keeps happening, it's because there's something for me to learn there. And it's not gonna continue coming until that lesson is learned. That's the contract that those two souls made before coming here. It's like, hey, until you really like, no matter how like angry I get when I'm there and all these things that you're gonna do to me, like you gotta stay there until you really teach me that lesson, until I can be in peace with that. And once that I learned that lesson that you had to teach me, that hard lesson or whatever, we have completed that contract. And there's like all type of like soul contracts. Like I said earlier, there's some people that you meet at the store one time, but maybe what that person said completely made you change or shift or do something differently. and that was it. Maybe that person is not in your life anymore because whatever the contract was that you guys needed to learn from each other, or the person needed to teach you whatever, has completed. So usually that contract, the person comes out of your life until that has been learned, until that lesson, that compromise, that agreement between the two souls is complete, then it kind of disappears. So sometimes people come to your life, and it could be a positive thing too, like, you know, somebody teaching you something that you had never learned before, or opening your mind to something new. And then, you know, you guys click and connect, and you learn all these things, and now everything that you learn, you take it on and you move in with your life. And then that person kind of like, I don't know, like moves to another country, or just like disappears, right? And you're like, what? Like, I really like that person. But sometimes the contract is done, and then kind of the two souls kind of go their own way to just keep going and moving into their other contracts. And now I'm gonna give you some examples with like kind of like different relationships, of human relationships. Let's just start with the one I shared before about mother and daughter, or son and father, right? Sometimes there's this connection or not connection that is like a negative one, right? Maybe the daughter didn't have a good relationship with the mother because she wasn't a good mother, or etc., right? So now the daughter didn't have that love, that attention, etc., or that boy or the guy didn't have that from the father either. So now it's like, okay, you find all this anger, all this pain, all this hate, you know, between these two people or whatever, and it's like, okay, what that girl, that boy needed to learn from that experience of having that kind of parent was to really forgive. Maybe it was like that parent, that bad parent, was really, is now teaching this person, this kid or girl, to truly forgive. And maybe that happens until later on in life, right? And it's like when that person kind of comes into the peace of forgiveness, or finds their self-love and all these things, it's like, hey, thanks, you know, later on in life you understand why that happened, and something that you guys both chose before coming here. So sometimes a lot of people is like, why would I do that? Why would I choose to have a crazy life? Why would I choose to have a life of pain and all these things? Because that's how our souls expand. And it's so nice and it's so useful to see these things in life now, because it's like, okay, you know, if you could not give me this love, that pushed me to really go and find it myself, because that experience of not having that really made me expand and grow a person. And now let's look at the relationship of like a girlfriend and a boyfriend, right? Let's say it's a really bad relationship, or a relationship that comes and it just like in a circle, right? It ends and then they come back, ends, it comes back. It's like, what are we doing? But you cannot, like, you have just this pull of like causing each other pain, cause whatever, or cheating on each other, all these things, right? And it's like, okay, like what? But again, they're both teaching something, and maybe that relationship doesn't stay, right? After a while they break up, or things move on, but now this other person that learned a lot from that relationship now is able to move on and be in a better person for the other relationship, thanks to the things that this person learned from the other past relationship. But that was a soul contract. Maybe they, you know, it's done, but they learned their lesson and now they grew apart, but with all the lessons that they made together because of that contract. Now let's look at the contract of like two friends, right? Maybe these two friends are like really good friends and they teach things to each other and they're just like super happy. You know, they learn so much, everything is great. And then at one point, maybe a friend does something wrong, like no wanting to, I don't know. It does something that affects the friendship, right? It breaks the friendship apart. So now the friendship that was so beautiful and like fulfilling all this stuff has broken. So now maybe what they both had the agreement to experience was like that, you know, that experience of how a friend can betray you or all of that. And it's like, hey, thanks, because you taught me how to also forgive or how to move on or all these things. And maybe that friendship that was so pure and so amazing, it breaks apart and it does not continue. because the lessons that were meant to be learned were already learned. And now let's look at the relationship of when you just meet somebody for one day or for 5 minutes, right? Like in the coffee shop, you're getting that coffee, or the person that is making your coffee, and maybe you're having a hard day, or you're doubting yourself that day or something, or you don't feel good or whatever, and that person tells you, oh my god, I love your outfit, or you look beautiful, you have nice hair, all these compliments or whatever, and it's like, whoa, thanks, like I really needed that. So maybe, and then you go with your life and never see that person again, but that moment of that it helped you and now you're gonna have a good day or whatever, that was like a little soul contract that you said, hey, in this day, like I'm gonna be feeling like this, and I'm just gonna need you to come and say these things, and like remind me of who I am. So it's like we are all connected, right? We are all one. We're all one, and we all have something to give, something to take, everything. We are all learning. And yes, a lot of times it's in the tough way, but just keep in mind that that is how we grow. We grow sometimes, and a lot of times, through pain, through hardships, through hard things, through hard experiences. But we all should be thankful of every single person that comes in our life, because everybody's teaching you something, and they're all there for a reason. And another thing with like these soul contracts is that don't forget that we also have free will, right? So like, yes, we made this contract, but then our human mind gets in the way and all these things, and it's like some humans, even though your soul had this plan, right, of learning something, so the next time that it comes back in another life, it's like, okay, I don't have to keep redoing the same lesson because I want to learn it, and you are going to be there to teach me that lesson. But maybe when we are not connected to ourselves, we are connected with that understanding, connection of your soul, and listening to our soul, because your soul is guiding you through everything. So maybe your soul tells you, go here, but you don't listen to that. You don't listen to that intuition, to that little spark of doing something, and you don't do it. So it's like there's free will. Like, I don't want to tell you, like, so it's like the more connected you are with yourself, and you listen to that intuition of, yes, stay here, don't stay here, you are allowing and helping your soul continue and learn that lesson. If not, it's okay. Maybe you don't take on the agreement that you have with a person, with a soul, before coming here, or both of you guys, or one of you guys don't want to participate now that you guys are in this human form. Then now you're gonna have to continue repeating that lesson, maybe with another person or another lifetime, until you actually really surrender to it and learn it. And if you learn it, you grow, you expand, you become like more connected and aligned, and in the next life you're probably gonna have a lot easier life. Soul agreements are there to heal, to improve the process of your future path of this journey as a human. They help us heal, and they help us and teaches us how to let go, and to truly become more in peace and ease with ourselves. So nobody is forever and nothing is forever, but how are you experiencing every single contract or every single connection that you are having with every single human that comes to you? Maybe you and me have a soul contract. If you are watching my videos and you find that my videos are very helpful and are really helping and changing your life in a positive way, then that could mean that you and me had that contract of saying like, hey, like, I'm going to make all these videos, and like, you are going to really find yourself like connected to everything that I'm saying, and that's gonna help you find your own path and continue your own path. Because me, I follow to my soul, and I listened that this was my calling of making this kind of video, and you listening to that video, we are completing that soul contract. And with that said, that's what soul contracts are. Don't forget that there is also free will. So that's why it's so important to continue connecting with yourself, to listening to your soul, to yourself. because the more you do, the easier this path, this journey will get, or maybe not easier, but just more smooth. And all is about helping each other find that peace within ourselves. We are all here, we are all the dancers of this life, the humans of this world, and we are all here to help each other. So I hope that helped. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to comment. I would like to see your comments and your thoughts about all this craziness to our mind's probably like, what? But yeah, you take it or leave it, however you choose. Thank you so much for existing, and I will see you in another video. Ciao. You are always manifesting. The question is, are you manifesting consciously or unconsciously? To manifest is to bring something forth into your physical